All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are unpacking something that is honestly way more than just a coding language. We're looking at Python, which is, without a doubt, the ultimate digital tool belt for modern development. Whether you're a college student trying to land that next internship, or you're just looking to dive headfirst into data science or software engineering, understanding Python and its whole ecosystem is literally going to change how you look at technology. So let's jump right in. Okay, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the foundation, look at how to unlock some real superpowers, and then we'll explore three distinct toolkits: data and math, AI and vision, and web and utility. Finally, we'll bring it all together by building the real world.
So, part 1, the foundation. Why Python absolutely rules the world right now. Because before we start grabbing tools, we really need to understand why this specific workbench is just so incredibly popular. I mean, Python has become the undisputed industry standard across almost every tech sector you can imagine. Everything from cybersecurity and cloud computing to automation and even game development.
And to really get a sense of its scale, just look at its evolution. Early on, heavyweights like Google and NASA adopted it purely for its rock-solid reliability. Fast forward a bit, and platforms like Instagram and Spotify used it to scale up to millions of users. And today, massive streaming services like Netflix, not to mention the entire field of artificial intelligence, rely heavily on Python just to function. A huge reason for this massive adoption all comes down to syntax. If you've ever dealt with older, clunky programming languages, you know exactly how painful complex code can be. But Python features this incredibly simple, clean, and highly readable syntax that makes it remarkably easy to pick up. That simplicity, combined with the fact that it's completely open source and cross-platform, is exactly why developer jobs are in such phenomenally high demand right now. You get all this incredible productivity without the headache of overly complicated code.
All right, moving into section 2, unlocking superpowers, equipping the tools. Now, the core language of Python is great on its own, but the real secret behind its massive power is its huge collection of add-ons. These add-ons literally save developers thousands of hours. To really harness this, you just need to know two key terms. First up is a library. Think of a library as pre-written code that gives you a specific functionality. It's essentially a superpower in a box, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you want to build something. The second term is pip. Pip is simply Python's package installer. It basically acts just like an app store for these libraries, letting you easily pull from the Python package index to get exactly whatever tool you need. Getting these set up is literally a quick 3-step process. Step 1, you install the library using pip. You just type something like pip install pandas right into your terminal. Step 2, you import it into your Python project. And step 3, you execute your new superpower and let the library do all the heavy lifting for you. It really is that simple. Which brings us to section 3, the data and math toolkit, actionable insights. This is our very first specialized set of libraries, and it focuses entirely on turning raw, boring numbers into brilliant, actionable insights. Honestly, if you're interested in data science, this is where you're going to live. So let's break down two absolute heavyweights here, side by side. You have NumPy, which is built from the ground up for numerical computing. It uses arrays and matrix operations to handle massive, ultra-fast mathematical calculations. And then, on the other side, you have Pandas. Pandas is your absolute go-to for data analysis. It uses data frames to perfectly manage, clean, and filter your CSV and Excel files. Just imagine taking a messy, complete nightmare of a spreadsheet filled with broken formatting and instantly transforming it into clean, usable data. That is the magic of Pandas. Of course, once your data is all cleaned up, just staring at rows of numbers isn't super helpful, right? That's where visualization comes in. First, you'll use Matplotlib to generate foundational line, bar, pie charts, and histograms straight from your datasets. Then, you can bring in Seaborn to instantly upgrade those basic charts into beautiful, highly professional statistical graphs, heat maps, and distribution plots for your high-level dashboards. Okay, section 4, the AI and vision toolkit, the futuristic edge. This is where things get super cutting edge. We're shifting gears to look at exactly how Python acts as the backbone for artificial intelligence. We are talking about 3 incredibly powerful tools here. First, you can equip Scikit-learn for machine learning. This is what lets your models actually learn from data to handle things like prediction, classification, and clustering.
Next up is TensorFlow, which is the heavy hitter for deep learning. You use this to build complex neural networks, image recognition, and speech recognition AI models. And finally, OpenCV. This literally gives your computer vision. It allows your programs to process images and detect faces and objects right through a camera.
Moving right along to Section 5, the Web and Utility Toolkit, Internet and Automation. Let's step away from AI for a second and look at how Python effortlessly interacts with the internet and processes those daily, repetitive utility tasks we all have. When you're building for the web, you're usually looking at two core choices. You've got Flask, which is perfect for simple, fast browser communication, great for lightweight APIs and REST services. But if you need to build a massive, full-stack enterprise website, you're going to equip Django. Django is a beast. It comes with an admin panel, a database structure, and user authentication built right in, straight out of the box. To round out that web and utility toolkit, there are 3 highly practical libraries you'll definitely run into. You have Beautiful Soup, which automatically scrapes and parses structured data directly from websites, absolutely perfect for market research. Then there's Requests, which handles HTTP requests, so you can easily connect to web services, talk to APIs, and download data. And finally, Pillow, sometimes called Pill, which automates basically all your image editing tasks. We're talking resizing, cropping, applying filters, converting formats, the whole shebang.
So we've covered a ton of ground and some incredible libraries. But we need to pivot from all this theory to the exciting practical reality. So what can you actually build with all this stuff?
And that brings us to Section 6, Building the Real World, Python projects. Because the truth is, the real magic in software development happens when you start combining these libraries together.
The true power totally unlocks when you see these combinations in action. You can combine Pandas to clean up messy financial data and Matplotlib to graph it. Boom! You've created your own stock market analyzer. You can unleash TensorFlow to build a highly responsive AI chatbot, turn on a webcam and run OpenCV for live face recognition, combine Pandas and Seaborn for a stunning corporate sales dashboard, or spin up Flask for a personal blog and use Django to run a massive e-commerce website. The combinations are literally endless.
So, the big takeaway from this whole explainer, Python is brilliantly simple, but it packs an absolute wallop. These libraries help developers build applications faster, saving huge amounts of time and opening doors to some seriously high-demand jobs in AI, data science, and web development. My advice? Start simple. Build your foundational toolkit with NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Flask. Once you're comfortable there, naturally progress to the advanced AI stuff with TensorFlow and OpenCV. And as you get deeper, prepare yourself to learn object-oriented programming, or OOP, to structure your projects even better. Which leaves us with just one final thought. Which library are you going to master first to build your next big idea? The tools are all sitting right there in the Python package index, just waiting for you. I challenge you to take action today. Open up that terminal, install a library, and start coding. And remember, try to practice Python every single day. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what you build.